um, get back to yapping a bit about marketing and communication. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm like mic'd up and everything. Marketing and communication. Well, social media marketing mainly. I wish I could have set up my camera on my PC, but it just wouldn't let me because TikTok didn't want that. And I respect TikTok wanting its distance. Actually, I don't. Let's cooperate, right? Let's work together. How much more awesome would that be? Hello, Kimmy. So, recently, a viewer asked me a pretty epic question. They asked, does branding happen through emotional attachment, through value, or through identity? Wild question. What a wild question. I loved that. I loved that question. It was so cool. And I actually did answer it yesterday, but I for sure am going to answer it today again. Yo, Sham, what's good? What's good? What's good? I'm streaming on TikTok at the same time for my PC. I would have liked to stream on YouTube for my PC, but I can't. Yeah, bro. Yeah, I'm back. Waited many days. I'm snacking a little something. I'm not going to be on for long, and I'm doing a little Q&A. I did a Q&A yesterday. Can you hear me well, by the way, from my microphone? Just let me know. I did a little Q&A yesterday about social media marketing and communication on TikTok, and it was awesome. Some sick questions. What's good, Burger? Some sick questions. Like it was great discourse. Not yet exactly great discourse. And like I got to expand my expertise a bit. So it was pretty epic. Guys, I'm great. Thank you for asking. What time is it here? It is 19:03. I already did some business. I got some work done today. And so today we're going to do some, like I did yesterday on TikTok, I did a Q&A about social media marketing and communication. And we're just going to get back to that today. I'm going to continue scrolling through the live streams, but have a great time. Hey, big love. Thank you, bro. Have a nice one. How kind. You've got a good mic. I'm gonna keep it going. That's kind. Right, so if you have any questions, if you're building your own brand, if you're building a business, if you wanna just talk about your experiences on social media marketing, maybe you're having some struggles, then let's talk about it. Or, I grew up in 7 different countries, and as a result, I had to learn how to talk with people. I had to learn how to communicate, and I had to learn how to interact on like a higher level with people. And so I also shared that knowledge that I gained, and I also read a shit ton of books on both marketing and communication. And so those are the things I talk about, marketing and communication. Dude, you know what? For my experience, I had a beautiful day. I woke up and I decided to get to locking in. Like I edited a video. I was out with my client the other day. Oh, I have some stuff I got to share with you too about my client, but I'm going to share that in a video, so I can't share it yet. Yo, can I get a shout out? I'm from Mexico. My signal ain't that good because of the raid that happened. Okay, here because of the death of the cartel boss here in Jalisco. Damn. Okay, yeah, I mean, shout out to you. It's Loco Quavo, my man. All right. Getting strange comments over on TikTok, but that's standard TikTok experience. Yeah, that's some tough stuff happening over there on your side. Big up to you. So yeah, hey, if you guys want to talk about communication or marketing, or you have any questions, you want to build a business, or you want to, you have a brand, you're building a product, maybe you make art, and you're wondering how can I bring my art to people? How can I get attention for what I create? Then that's what I'm here for. That's what we can talk about. Or any communication questions. You know, someone asked me the other day, for example, when I'm in a conversation with someone, I thought that was a cool question. When I'm in a conversation with someone, I'm trying everything that one can do, right? You know, maybe for a moment it went well, but now it stopped going well, and I'm just like asking questions, and trying to make it like a back and forth happen, but we're not getting anywhere. Like the other person's just being bland and boring. What am I supposed to do at that point, right? Because my one whole prerogative I have is, right, ask questions, be interested in people, be interested more than, you know, be interesting. And the question was like, dude, at that point, what am I supposed to do? And I thought that was a great question. My name is Sammy. That's what's good. That's what's good. What about you guys, man? How are your guys' day going? What's up on your side of the world? I hope you're well. I hope you're well. Big love. Someone sending over hearts over here. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. K, my man. My man. You guys doing well? I never actually start eating when I'm on these lives. Love. The other day, bro, I've been like hardcore on the diet. Someone asked what I'm eating. This shit is diabolical. Holy shit. Hold up, check this out. Okay. It looks a little cursed. It looks a little cursed, but it's absolutely diabolical. It's like some vegetables, tofu. I put some Schnitzel. It's some German stuff, Schnitzel in there, and added some sriracha and some cream situation, and yeah. What's good, everyone? What's good? What's good? What's good? We got people on YouTube. We got people on TikTok. I'm loving this. I'm absolutely loving this. Yeah, it's fire. It's fire. It's not a burger, but it's fire. Square Eyes, my man. Hey, Square Eyes back in the chat. I'm glad. Dude, I am good. We've been having some pretty exciting days with the business. We've been talking about, and more recently, I'm leaning more into, you know, the communication and social media marketing aspects of my business. You know, since I have the expertise, I might as well share it with people. And yeah, now I'm coming on the live here. Yesterday I was live on TikTok for some time. There were some pretty sick questions about marketing. Loved answering them. Someone asked, what was it again? Is brand created through value, identity, or emotional attachment? Thought that was a wild question, a little bit diffuse, but that was very interesting. We talked in depth about that. Bro, I can't watch your edit right now. Like I don't know how you expect that to happen right now, but I respect the grind, man. I respect the grind. You know, getting on the lives, sharing your stuff. What are you editing? What's the kind of stuff you make? Maybe let's talk about that. Or maybe how are you marketing your edits? Oh, bro, you're Sham. Okay. Well, I can't do that right now. Yeah, how's it going? From your reels, it looks like you're pivoting from flooring a bit to less niche work. Exactly. That was a very interesting lesson I learned recently, is that you can also niche down too hard. And you know, from all the standard experience, you know, from like Alex Hormozi, or I think it's honestly, to be real, it was Alex Hormozi for the main part. He was like, niche down, you know, find a niche and absolutely capitalize on that niche, and then become an expert in that niche. And so that's, you know, what I did. I'm really good at making flooring. You know, I'm good at making flooring videos, but I noticed it was difficult to find people that, you know, would want to work with me, or that, you know, even had the pain that I was trying to solve. And then I noticed it's not necessarily because I'm not able to solve that pain or because they don't have that pain, but it's just such a small amount of people that I'm even now able to reach. I might as well just expand it more and then just be able to reach more people. And it's still a niche, right? It's like still a niche. I don't need to go all the way into it. And that was an interesting lesson that I learned the other day. It was like from a podcast I was listening about. It was about some marketing expert he was talking about, and I was thinking about my business, and I was like, bro, I'm not cooking. Hey, Sensei Bensei, what's good? What's my favorite food? Dude, what is my favorite food? I like way too many foods to have a favorite one, but I think if I put, like, I could make like a ranking. I think pretty high up there is ramen. Ramen, absolutely diabolical, super underrated, maybe accurately rated. Lauren's joined from my posts, that's sick. Ramen's definitely up there. I'm trying to think, what kind of foods do I eat like on the regular? I'm gonna be real, dude. Like I'm starting to love Magerquark again. I don't think that counts because it's like cottage cheese, but like I've been destroying that stuff. Laurens loved the fact that I love Magerquark. Laurens gets it. Yeah, I don't think I can. You'd give me like a list of things and I can tell you which one of those I like the most. Yo, there's a bunch of people here right now. So I'm just gonna reiterate. I talk about social media marketing and I talk about communication, both of those things, both very passionately, love them. And so if you have any questions, maybe you make art and you wanna bring your art to people, maybe you have a business and you wanna bring that business, you wanna gain attention for your business, or maybe, it's like you're having some difficulties connecting, talking with your homies, gaining some deeper conversations, more insights. We can talk about that too. That's what I talk about. Y'all enjoying these eating sounds? Especially the people on TikTok, like, because they're hearing me through this mic. Is this enjoyable? What's good, what's good? Hello, hello, hello. Squares, what do you actually, since you're actually, in case you're still here, you're already an entrepreneur. What do you think? In regards to niching down so hard, is that a valid tactic, or do you kind of lose yourself in the niche? I think really, because I have the skills, I might as well apply them to different spaces. You know what I mean? And I can niche down and become an expert there. But I think this is kind of what it is too. You would want to be an expert in a space in which it's valuable to be an expert, right? So I'm gonna say in a second what I'm eating. So if you, a little too hard, right? Right. You need to be an expert in a place where it's valuable to be an expert. So if you're an expert in, fuck me, bro. Personal branding. Or the use of AI in personal branding. That makes sense. There's a bunch of people that need personal branding, and there's a bunch of people who have difficulties using personal branding, and then you can help them out with AI, right? Teach them how to do personal branding on a more effective level. But I was a social media marketing expert for flooring companies. You know what I mean? It's what are we doing here? Now I do it for craftsmen. Exactly. So I expanded from the flooring companies to craftsmen in general. I think that also makes a lot more sense. Hi CADs. Yeah, I niched down a little bit too hard. What am I eating? Dude, this is I've been hardcore on a diet, and it's been going really well since I also took a different approach to dieting this time. It's, what is this? It's vegetables. Just frozen vegetables, and frozen vegetables It's schnitzel, which is like broad schnitzel, and then it's tofu with some sriracha and some cream. It's absolutely diabolical. Yeah, you could have gone for marketing for hand. That's exactly what I'm doing now. Yes, that would have been 100 times big as flooring craftsman only. Exactly. I was thinking right now, marketing for craftsmen is going to be bigger, but it's going to be harder to gain a solid reputation there. That was my thought process, and I don't think that's necessarily wrong, but I also don't think it matters that much. Like I think if anything, it's like slightly harder. You know what I mean? But like no one's like, oh, he's a marketing expert for flooring companies. You know what I mean? It's so funny. I did get a client. Yes, I did get a client. What's good, saddest life? Magerquark, yeah. Sham gets it. Magerquark. Pray for me, bro. Pray for me. I did get a client, and man, it's been a roller coaster with this client. I also got another client. I didn't even talk about that yet, but he's a little bit suspicious. He's a little bit suspicious, so I'm not gonna be doing too much with him, I believe. What do I like doing in my free time? Bro, I'm gonna be real. Because someone asked me this the other day when I was in a bar. Okay, I spend time with like my friends, but really not that much. In my free time, I do my work, like passionately. I love reading. I really love reading. I love writing. I write a lot now since I have a Substack. Everyone got to plug my Substack. I have a Substack. I write a lot. I read a lot. I learn. For the most part, I take a lot of time to learn, and I dance. I make music. I also make music. I love making music. Let me see. What else do I love doing? Just hanging out with friends. Having debates. I love debating. I'm a very big, I was a debater kid, took part in like debating competitions and all of that. Dude, there's like so much stuff that I love to do, but I barely get to a lot of the stuff that I love doing. That's kind of what I do in my free time. I think that client as a reference already helps for your slightly less niche work. Yes, especially because I didn't say this to anyone yet. I'm gonna make a video on it, so I might be spoiling a bit. But one of the videos I made got 500,000 views. Can we just celebrate that for a second? It got 500,000 views that I made for my client. My brother? That's what I'm talking about. That's the research. It's the research, bro. I sat down, I researched the ever-loving shit out of this stuff, and it's been going. Yeah. 500,000, 500,000. And that's been on experience. It's not been on experience, it's been on research. My camera's not focusing. Come back. Sorry to everyone on TikTok. My camera looks like ass. Yes, guys. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's been like crazy. So many likes. No, it got 2,000 likes, but 500, but like 500,000 views. Did I say likes? 500,000 views. Like, that's the hustle. I'm back on LinkedIn now, so like I'm everywhere, bro. You find me on every social media platform, on each single one except for Snapchat. You know what I'm gonna start doing? I made a video on it, but I didn't post it yet. I'm just gonna start posting on all the social networks. Like you're gonna find posts of me and how my business is going on eBay. You're gonna be scrolling on eBay, day one of my business. You're gonna be scrolling on, what else is there? Not Substack, bro. What do coders use? There's like this website coders use. I forgot its name. No, I forgot it. My bad. You can't find my LinkedIn? Oh yeah, that's because my name there is Lindilo. Like my full name is actually Lindilo, so you'd find me there. Like Lindilo. That's where you'd find me on LinkedIn. Hacker News. I didn't even know that existed, but you're finding me on there. GitHub. GitHub, you're finding me on GitHub. Gonna be making posts on GitHub, bro. This is how my business is going. Stack Overflow. That was the name of it. You're gonna find me on Stack Overflow. I saw there's a channel, and it had, it was like a philosophy channel. I'm there now. I'm gonna be on Reddit. I'm gonna have my own whatever the fuck on Reddit. Right? I'm everywhere now. I've decided I'm gonna, yeah. I'm becoming a gooner all the way. But yeah, so I was like super, dude, thank you, Sham. Yeah, I was like super excited that video popped off. Reviewed it a bunch, and it just, some of the parts made sense. I definitely, and it's also my client. I gotta say, my client is like extraordinarily social, as in like he is uniquely. I just got 3 gems on TikTok. I don't know what that means, but I got 3 gems. He's like uniquely able to communicate really well. He has like a very enticing like style when you listen to him. He's like really engaging, but it's in German, so you guys wouldn't get that. And then the way I cut the video, I added some spice in there. I'm not gonna lie, you know what I mean? I did some work on that one. I was proud. 500,000. It was like on the first day. It was like the first day that I uploaded. It was the first morning that I uploaded. So like in the first 24 hours, and then you're like my phone is exploding, bro. I'm going to sleep and my phone is exploding. I'm like, bro, what's going on? I see like Instagram, and all I see is the notification. Like all I see is Instagram, right? I don't see what's happening. It doesn't say like you got a like or anything. I click on there, I go on there, and then I see, bro, it has like 15,000 likes. I'm like, what the? I just uploaded this like 2 hours ago, right? I come back. I like open it the next day. It's like, what was it? Like 100,000 views. I was like, what? I open it again in the evening. It's like 150,000. I'm like, they're just coming, bro. They're just coming. That was definitely way too much dopamine for one small brain. My favorite YouTuber? Who is my favorite YouTuber right now? I don't have like an overall favorite YouTuber because I will also do a bunch of stuff. It's my Flooring Company channel. Exactly. It's also, man, I also haven't been, I'm gonna be real, I haven't been marketing my company well enough for the fact that I'm a social media marketer. It's so strange because I'm good at making videos for other people. I'm good at giving people, the necessary advice or even acting on that advice. Right? I'm good at like doing what I have to do for other people, but then when it comes to myself, yo, Bendy, what's good? But when it comes to doing it myself, I'm like slightly behind. On YouTube? No, not on YouTube. On YouTube, on Instagram. But I already told him, dude, we got to make some more channels. Like, you got to be everywhere as well. If you have that channel, you might as well. And so we're going to be working on that. But yeah, I definitely got to leverage this, right? The fact that it's going so well, the fact that I'm making these videos and that they're going off, I definitely have to, get some testimonials and then bring those forth to people, stuff like that. Yes, man, that was nice. One big success. The video, 500,000 views, crazy. But the sad thing is, no. Let me explain exactly. I was gonna get to that just now. The sad thing is that out of those 500,000 views, a client didn't come out, and I do performance-based work as of now, especially because I'm at the beginning, and so because nothing came out of it, I also didn't get, client didn't come out of it, so I didn't get paid. I said if my system works, that's when I get money. Oh yeah, Bendy. Okay, so Bendy, let me say it again also because there's some more views on TikTok. I should be saying this more often, but I grew up in 7 different countries, and as a result, I learned a bunch about communication and how to engage, especially with like new and random people. And now I want to learn how to, or I'm learning, and I have a social media agency. I'm learning about marketing, talking a bunch about marketing, because I want to learn how to kind of bring attention to the people that deserve and need it. And so that's what I do. I talk about social media and I talk about communication. My favorite animal is, what is my favorite animal? You know, these questions, they're never this deep, but you know, I want to answer them truthfully, so I always have to think about them way longer. I think most people would just give you like a random answer, and I respect people that just do that, but I take like way too long to answer such questions, because it's like my favorite one. There's so many animals, bro. I think electric eels are very crazy animals. Like, how are you just gonna like chill and just zap someone? It's like, what? Out of like your own body. Underwater? I don't even know. Yeah, it's a cat. That's lit. That's lit. Dude, do you rock? Do I rock? I don't know what that means, Shab. Is my mic even going proper on? Oh wait, hold up. Is TikTok using the wrong mic? My brother. It is. My brother. Oh, that's my speaker. Yo, I don't even know. I'm trying to find this out. You liked and subscribed. Eddie Squares. Thank you. Oh, I rock. Oh, Shab, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate that deeply. Hell yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up, everyone. Mitsu, my man. What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm live both on TikTok and on YouTube right now. I'm like, he's like everywhere. He's absolutely everywhere. I hope everyone's well. I've been live for like almost half an hour now. Tell me, does my mic sound fine on TikTok? Because I don't know if it's this mic. I don't know if it's this one. But yeah, we're back. We're back. We've been connecting. I have 150 subs. No shit. Did I just get 150 on YouTube? Yeah. Nice. My man. That's the work. That's the work. That's what we've been working on. That's awesome. I love that. Let's get that dopamine hit. Let's see if this is factual information. It is. That's sick as shit. Hey, I gotta post more long form stuff. I want to be absolutely honest. I mean, if we're talking about social media, right? I saw a post the other day, and it made so much sense. Where basically the reason long form content or streams are so valuable is just because, I mean, streams, okay, let's not take streams, because streams are epic because we just actually get to like talk and interact. And like the more interactive it gets, the better just the connection on both sides. But the reason long form content is so valuable is because really you want to maximize the amount of time people spend together with you, right? In an optimal sense. So if you'd have, and that's also why it's valuable to be on like as many platforms as possible, because you just get more touch points. And so exactly, uploading long form content is so important, because in the end, when you upload long form stuff, you just get way more opportunities, longer time, like they just spend more time with you. And so that bond increases literally just by the time. And I think that's what's interesting, right? It's just, you know, you could also, of course, you're constantly providing value, as Mitsu, you asked yesterday, right? You're constantly providing value. But I think even if you know, in parentheses, provided not that much value, just the sheer amount of time you spend with someone, you can imagine the friends you spend a lot of time with, just by the fact that you spend more time with them, you also feel more connected to. And I thought that was very interesting. I live in Berlin. My birthday is in June. I thought that was like some logical information. I thought that was interesting. ASMR. Yeah, are you like enjoying these? Do you like straight up hear me eating? I don't think that's fair to anyone here. Like, Lido ASMR channel. You know, I always did want to make an ASMR channel. I think ever since I was like 14 or something, I wanted to make an ASMR channel. Mitsu got questions prepared. That's some crazy stuff, bro. That's some crazy stuff. I love that. It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, hey, bro, hit me with one. Hit me with one. I'm here, I'm ready, I'm prepared. Mentally. Sounds like ASMR? Okay. What's one thing audiences think they want, but actually leave if they get it? The answer. Literally the answer. Yeah. As in, I think this is quite interesting. And I thought this was wild because if I made a video, right, and I said something like, I mean the full answer, let me say the full answer. If I said, what's the most important thing what's the most important, let me think. So like, what is the human body mainly comprised of, right? And then I said water. And then I started describing why that's important or how that's important. You would just instantly lose the viewer because then they already have that answer, right? They instantly got, they got the hit. You know what I mean? Like they got the answer they needed. They're done with the video. But ideally, what you'd want to do is you'd basically set up the hook, like what's the most important thing in the, or like what's the most important thing in the human body, or like what element is most found in the human body, some shit like that. And then you would want to add the context. You would want to basically add some reason for them to stay on the video. And so I keep noticing that for myself, that I oftentimes shortcut that. But I think that's one thing that, audiences, they often, because we want the value, we want the idea. Oh, have a nice one, Bendy. We want the value, we want the information, but oftentimes, right, we really want to be taken through a story, right? We want to be engaged throughout the entire process. And so, if people were to say, what do they want? A lot of people would say pure value or pure information, when really what a lot of people want is to be engaged and entertained. And I think that's what a lot of audiences want. I think entertainment, I've been learning a bunch about that especially now as social media evolves more and more, humor is becoming extremely important. Actually being entertaining or funny. It's not, because value is so widespread and everyone has access to it. Entertainment, that's the head of Instagram business said that. He said entertainment is becoming a lot more important than it used to be, especially in educational videos, right? Hello. So that's what I think what audiences want, but leave if they get it. Like the actual straight, like the whole information. Like another great example would be, it's funny because a great example of that is cliffhangers. If you gave away the whole thing, the whole story in the video, they wouldn't come again. If you leave a cliffhanger in a series, you're more likely to watch the next episode, right? Because you didn't get the whole information, but you want the whole information. And so that's kind of what's funny about it. That's a great question. I love that. I should be writing these down, dude, because these are low key. That's like, that could be a video. You know what I mean? That could be content right there. Great question. Love that. But generally, Mitsu's questions are like, you take a second, dude. Like, I mean, that's a wild question. Your question yesterday was so crazy. I genuinely went to bed thinking about it. I was like, that's a crazy question to like, what was it yesterday again? Like brand. Yeah, what's most important in a brand? The value, the emotional attachment, or the identity? Wild. Wild question. I definitely got to make a video on that. That could also be a long form video. I should also be probably, for the fact that this is what I mainly talk about. All right, Sham, sleep well, sleep well. Glad you were there. It was great to see you on the live again. It's been some time. It's been some time. Did I mention, I did not, I'm always ready for another one. I'm always ready for another one. Always ready for these questions. That's why I'm live. That's why I'm live. I didn't tell my people over on TikTok, but I'll tell you in a second. So if everyone follows the same growth advice, what happens to its effectiveness over time? That's a crazy question. That is a great marketing question. And that's kind of what we saw happen with the whole value thing that I was talking about, right? So there's all of these channels, and they talk about how to grow on social media. And then the general prerogative for the longest amount of time was just provide value, right? Just keep providing value over and over and over again. Whatever post you make sure it's an informative post, because through that information, through that bond, especially when people can use it instantly, that's how a connection is made. Or that's how you bond with your viewers. And then what happened, or what's happening, is that value became commoditized, right? So you can get that certain value wherever you want to be, or wherever you are. You could watch any channel, and they're all providing, in the end, the same kind of value. That's good.
Hey, is it a live stream? Streaming again? Nice. Who's here?
Sham just went off. Got Mitsu, new person. Mitsu's because now I've been doing streams where I talk about communication and marketing. This is my brother.
That's good.
Where I talk about communication and marketing. To bring the expertise to the foreground.
Uh-huh.
And Mitsu's been asking some crazy questions. As in, Mitsu's been the only one asking actually serious questions. It's pretty wild. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
The other people got to step up there.
You heard it here. And yeah, that's been very interesting.
Oh,
Been doing more of those. Are you good? Mitsu says hi.
Oh, amazing. I'm fine. I'm about to go do my mobility and then get back to the numerics.
You got back to numerics. I respect that. Right. So you could go on any channel in the end, and you would find everyone providing at the end similar value or saying similar things. In the end, you'd always need some kind of differentiator, but it wasn't even about that much, right? Value, as I said, became commoditized. What became a lot more important was authenticity, connection, humor, being able to bond with people. And so this is what was interesting, right? Because in the beginning, I think it used to be a bit. It kind of happened in a wave, right? So authenticity used to be the most important thing. But then people came, people were like, okay, I'm wherever I am, I see someone yapping about themselves, but I actually want to learn stuff. Or I actually want to do stuff. People were so overwhelmed by the fact that they're constantly just being entertained, so they wanted to learn more. And then what happened was that they came, and then that switch to value happened. And so everyone's talking about how to, educate people or how to do this and how to do that, and trying to, provide that value to you. And so value became commoditized. And now we're coming back to that where it's okay, now it's again about finding that connection, as we've been on the value thing the whole time. Right, that's where I believe. So if everyone follows the same growth advice, what happens to its effectiveness over time? It gets commoditized, and that's when we have to become innovative. You know what I mean? I think that's a super interesting question. Oh, thank you. Someone said I'm their favorite YouTuber. I take that to heart. I appreciate it. It becomes commoditized, and that's why we have to keep evolving, right? And that's why we have to keep getting better. Like, it's crazy, the opportunities, the new developments we make when we notice that we're becoming commoditized. Because we have to keep working, right? We have to keep growing. We have to keep getting better. And so that's kind of what happens when everyone follows the same advice. And it's valid. It's valid for everyone to follow the same growth advice, because for that time, it's very real, right? It's very important growth advice. To say, to say you need to be more authentic, or you need to be, funnier or something. That is what's relevant in our time, especially when, AI is taking over and there's more content coming out there, when, you as a person even begin to get taken, to just become like a drop in the pond, or a drop in the ocean, right? It's true that you need to become more authentic. It's true. All of that's true. And it might be that, again, the same thing happens. And so that it's valuable for now. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what happens when everyone follows the same growth advice. The growth advice gets commoditized. And commoditized means that everyone does something and it loses its value. That's tough, Burger. That's tough. Great question, though. It's another thing I could make a post about. Mitsu, you're on fire. I wonder if there's any. I hope this stuff is useful to you as well. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of, yeah. That's also where it becomes important now to find. So I saw one post by Sam Gaudet. Yeah, I'll answer that one as just you can hit it in. I'll answer it in a second. Sam Gaudet made a post. He's a personal branding specialist. He did the social branding for Dan Martell. He said something like 80% or 70, I think it was like 80% of his posts are verified, as in it was like 70% of his posts are verified. So he just uses a structure, he's certain they work, he knows, he's seen that structure somewhere else, and so he implements just that structure. No experimentation, he just he finds a format that works, puts his own information in there. 30% is like an adaptation. He'll take the thing that already exists, tweak it a bit, just experiment just a little bit. And then 10%, and this is what's important, right? And this is what kind of goes to your question. 10% is like innovative, as in where he tries completely new things. And I thought that was so interesting, because I asked myself the same question. If everyone's doing the same shit, if the advice is always you got to provide value, if the advice is always you got to become more authentic, if the advice is always you got to be more vulnerable, then how do I stand out if everyone's getting the same advice? Right? What am I supposed to do at that point? And the point is that you're supposed to innovate. There's always supposed to be a time where you innovate. There's always supposed to be a time when you tweak something, when you add your own ideas. And that's where, becoming an individual, that's where you become an individual. Where, let's take, what I think, for example, is very fascinating is if you look at Gary Vee. Labrari, what's good? What's good? We're talking about social media marketing right now. Someone asked the question, if everyone follows the same growth advice, what happens to its effectiveness over time? Super interesting question. And, right, Gary Vee, what he talks about now a bunch, or what he started talking about a bunch, was live social shopping, right? So being on TikTok, being on Whatnot, and selling things online. And the interesting part about that is that it's so unique to him. So he's talking about something no one else is talking about, right? No one, you wouldn't find someone screaming into his microphone passionately about how important live social shopping is. Of course, not everyone had that platform that he has. So, maybe there were people talking about it, but even having such a big platform and then going out there and talking about a completely new field people don't know about, having that trust and having that authenticity and having that certainty that you believe what you're talking about, that's kind of what then sets him apart in that space. Does that mean growth advice has a sort of expiration date? That's a great question. I would say definitely not. The reason I don't think it does is because all the growth advice that works, or if applied works, the reason they work is because they are based on fundamental ways the human psyche works, right? So they are valid. And they're also valid across time. If you look at the principles, maybe this is what it is, right? Or this is what I'd say it is. It's not the concrete advice, it's the principles on which the advice works that doesn't have an expiration date. So a great example of that is trends. I could make the advice, what's like a trend right now? Okay, let me say it like this, right? Let's say when Charlie Kirk, when it ended for him, right? If you made a video about it at that time, it's going crazy. It's going crazy because it's such an important topic for that time. But if you made a video about that now, it wouldn't matter that much, right? But the principle lying underneath it, which is talk about things that are relevant at the time that they're happening, that's an underlying principle that works. You know what I mean? And so the principle behind theirs works, but the advice itself has an expiration date. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I should like take a more structured approach to the way I'm explaining these things. Do I know what you're eating? I do not know what you're eating. What are you eating? I'd be a great teacher. You think so? Thank you. It's actually my name, quite literally. That's so kind. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I'd be a great teacher if I had people that were like interested. Or actually, let me take that back. I think it's the job of a teacher to make things interesting. So maybe to the right people, maybe, yeah. I appreciate that. Actually, I appreciate that so much. That's so kind. Seems like in the end, all of us go back to teaching. My mom's a teacher. My dad became a teacher. I love teaching. Oh, dude, I saw you shared the live, by the way. Much love. Much love. Does growth advice have an expiration date? I love that question. There's also, you made it so poetic. You made the question so intriguing. Does that mean growth advice has an expiration date? Wild. It's a wild question. How are you coming up with these questions? To everyone on YouTube, like I can also just like move the mic farther away. if this is disturbing you, but you'd have to let me know. Okay. Okay, now get ready for this. I talk about this topic sometimes with people. You talk about this topic sometimes. Okay, so can a brand ever truly reflect a creator if it's optimized for an algorithm? That's a crazy question. Can a brand ever truly reflect a creator if it's optimized for an algorithm? Okay. You know, and I thought about this as well. I thought about this deeply because I had an interview with my mother. And she works with UNICEF. If you know what UNICEF is, it's like a international aid organization. And my question was, how come there are so few brands, like personal brands in UNICEF? Why are there so few, or in international aid in general, like why are there so few people that talk about their work, that talk passionately about their work, because their work is so important, right? And so that's what I want to do in the end, right? I want to help international aid workers bring their important work to the forefront, to the people. And I also wondered, right? And throughout that conversation, we were coming to a point where she said, I don't want to go online and then, you know, risk myself or risk losing myself for the algorithm. And I thought that was such an interesting way of talking about it, like where you're saying, like, because when I talk online, I have to be more expressive, I have to be more funny, I have to be more this or that. And in the process of that, I lose myself, right? That was the fear. I am of the concrete conviction that you can grow a brand. And it's now, your question makes it very specific because you say, can it truly reflect a creator if it's optimized for an algorithm? And that would mean, you'd have to kind of find out what truly reflect means. Can it be authentic? That's a feeling, right? Can it feel authentic to a creator? Can it truly reflect a creator? Truly reflect, you know, as much as anything can truly reflect something else, right? It's like, it's hard to define because the question is a bit, it's not diffuse, but it's, you know, it uses less clearly defined words. And so I think whenever, maybe this is a question that kind of, a way to kind of answer it. I think whenever, regardless of who it is, where we are, what we're doing, whenever we're interacting with something, interacting with someone, it brings out different sides of ourselves. When I'm talking with you, and I notice you, you know, you're interested in these questions, I'll talk with you differently about a topic than I'd talk about with Burger, right, who keeps asking what I'm eating. You know what I mean? Like, because he wouldn't, I don't think Burger just principally wouldn't care that much about marketing, right? It just wouldn't happen. And on social media, we present different sides of ourselves, right? So I don't talk about some things that are just closer to me here. Does that mean it reflects me less? If I go to one friend and I talk with them about one kind of topic and I talk about with a different friend with a different kind of topic, does that mean I reflect myself less or less truly with someone else? In the end, I think you definitely can create a brand that truly feels authentic. I don't think anything can truly reflect a creator. And optimizing for an algorithm is only a way of packaging a story. That's all it is. You can tell the same story. Like, I can tell you, and this is what I talked about yesterday when we talked about storytelling, right? I can tell you the same thing, but how I package it changes what I'm talking about. Do I maybe, like, you know, might I lose authenticity in the process? That is so individual. I might. It might not feel right to me. That can happen. In that case, yeah, it didn't truly reflect what I wanted to bring out there. But it might reflect it even more. And I don't know, I think there's a lot of, I think we like adapt and grow over time. We change, especially when we, start creating. And so in a way we have to adapt to, I think whenever we want to gain attention for what we're creating, we're putting ourselves out there. And whenever we put ourselves out there, we have to. I remember for some time my dad said, just love me for how I am, right? So real, so real. But we need to change each other for each other. It has to happen. And so, can anything ever truly reflect someone else? Like, can anything ever truly reflect me? Can anything ever be 100% authentic if I'm following a goal? I don't know. I feel like I have to adapt myself for anything. Does that mean a creator's audience is following the algorithm's version of them, not the real version? Does that mean that a creator's audience is following the algorithm version of them, not the real version? The algorithm version, okay. It totally depends on how the creator is making content. So there are definitely creators out there but in the end, actually, okay, this is a crazy question, dude. There are creators out there that just talk about the algorithm is fucked. The algorithm is as good as what it, oh my God, the algorithm is good at what it does, but like, it's kind of fucked what the algorithm does. So I get what you're saying. There are creators that make just like content about themselves. I think they stay extremely authentic, right? They stay extremely close to who they are and what they want to talk about and how they experience life. They don't adapt much of themselves, or they don't even look at the data that much. Fact of the matter is, though, a lot of those people, they don't get that much recognition because they're not looking at the data. What they want to do is just present themselves online. I think in that moment, you're really just following like the dude who just wants to talk about what they're doing. But I think it's still inevitable that they kind of adapt, for the algorithm. But that's a topic on its own. I think there's a case to be made where the algorithm will just push content to you that's, entertaining, which means you're also just more likely to see content if it's made in an algorithmically, entertaining version. Hello, Kingori, what's good? We're answering the question right now, do we follow, when we're following a creator online, are we following an algorithmic version of them or a real version? Oh, wait. Let's not take that. And who are the creators you're most likely to find? The ones that appeal best to the algorithm. Who are the what content of creators you enjoy are you most likely to see? The content that follows the algorithm most. That's the most entertaining. Let's say you go on their channel, and this is a case to be made, right? Let's say you go on their channel and then you find a bunch of videos that you never saw. They also only have like 100 views. They're algorithmically hacked videos. They get like 3,000, 30,000, 300,000 views, right? But the videos where they're just like yapping and talking about what they want to talk about, there you'll see a more real version of them. So I don't think it means, it depends on the creator. It depends on the kind of content the creator is making, and how authentic it is to them, how like algorithmically hacked it is to them, but it also is very dependent on the algorithm itself, right? What are you seeing in the first place? And so for the most part, I think what you're seeing is, I think if you go online, for the most part, you're gonna see versions adapted, optimized for the algorithm, or progressively becoming optimized for the algorithm. The same way that, look at this, right? Now my setting changed. You see me here with better lighting, a better camera. I'm sitting here, I'm talking with you at my space now. Is this an algorithmically optimized version of myself? Like more optimized than before? Or are you still just, or is this just me talking with you? Is this me just like the real version? Is the algorithmically optimized version, maybe this is the conclusion we can come to, is the algorithmically optimized version really different from the real version? I think that's also what we talked about before, where is an algorithmically optimized version, can a brand ever reflect a creator if it's optimized for the algorithm? I think it doesn't. I think we don't lose. I think we can. It depends on how authentic the person is staying. I think there are people, they really, really change themselves to be optimized for the algorithm. It's so individual. It's so individual. But it really depends on how much the creator adapts for the platform. I'm not satisfied with that answer fully. I'll make a more concrete one down the line. It's been an hour. Okay. But that's a philosophical ass question, my side. It's a very philosophical question. I like it. Yeah. You know what? This was good, man. I think I gotta go shopping before the shops close, and I gotta get going. I still have videos to edit, a bunch of stuff to do. But I'm glad we got to connect here. You asked some crazy questions. Seriously, crazy questions. I'm glad I recorded them on my phone as well. You got one more? You think you can keep it for next time? Yeah, I think save it for next time. But that's like the last one you asked her, that was a very philosophical question. I like it. I love philosophy. But that's like a philosophical ass question, which is it's a good question, right? Can we stay authentic to ourselves? Can we stay authentic to ourselves if we're creating content for an algorithm that pushes, hyperactivity? Or I think a great example, a great example is Olivia Unplugged. Olivia.unplugged on YouTube. Check her out. Bro, I think she's probably also on TikTok, I bet. She sits there and she's so calm. She's like the opposite of what I think the algorithm would be trying to push. And she's so, I respect her so much for what she does, because she manages to capture your attention despite, in a way she probably is still like dopamine hacking you, but she does it in such a fascinating way, which is in the end supposed to get you away from your phone. What? Bro, I love that. I think that's beautiful. And that's, for me, such a great representation. Or what I'm doing with my client. I think what I'm doing with my client is another great example. We talked about it the other day. Miteinander reden, Schulz von Thun. I'll write it in here. Schulz von Thun. What I'm doing with my client, right? It was so interesting because we made a video. We met up yesterday and we made a bunch of content together. Or day before yesterday, we made a bunch of content together. And the first time I recorded him, or maybe the second time too, he was stuck up. And of course he was, because how are you supposed to represent yourself? How are you supposed to show yourself on camera? What am I supposed to be like? How authentic can I be, and how much do I have to optimize myself for an algorithm, right? And then that video that I made for him got 500,000 views. And it was incredible to see him yesterday. It was fascinating. It was like he was a new human. It was like I was seeing, like it felt so much more like him when I just saw him talking with me. It felt so much more authentic because he got rewarded, he got accepted, he got recognized for being himself. And I think, in a sense, I notice it for myself as well. I am becoming more authentic as I make more content, right? You begin seeing a realer version of me as I make more content. And that's been like an incredible realization. And so in that sense, I think, content can actually even make us more authentic, even make us more ourselves. But that was like a whole ass side rant that we went on here. But it's a great question, man. It's a great question. Definitely have to think about that because it's so multifaceted. You know what I mean? It's also so dependent on who you're talking with and how they present themselves and what they're trying to achieve ultimately, right? Am I trying to create an audience of people that really enjoy me for who I am? I'm going to be making content about who I am. Am I going to adapt it so that I'm more engaging? Surely. Does that make me less me? I don't think so. Am I trying to go purely for the views? Well, then I wouldn't even be talking about what I'm doing. Right? I wouldn't be talking about marketing. I wouldn't be talking about communication. I'm probably doing like fitness content for the most part, right? Because it just has a bigger TAM, a total addressable market, right? Like it has just more people, or it affects more people concretely. There's so many more pains that I can talk about that have directly to do with people. And so in that sense, what's your goal? And from that we can derive, and how authentic is that goal to you? How much are you sacrificing yourself, your authenticity for that goal? Those are all things that really answer the question. Hey, I like monologued super hard on that, but you also asked a really complicated question. And so viel dazu. It's been an hour and 10 minutes. I've definitely enjoyed this. Me too. I appreciated the great questions. I thank you for holding on your final question for me to yap this one out. And my follower joined from the posts. Okay, and so yeah, that's kind of it for now. How are we feeling after this stream? Did this help? Was it too much? Give me, let me know what was good, what was bad. Especially let me know what was bad. You know what I mean? I do definitely want to improve this. I really want to improve this. So let me know if some things are disturbing you. I can, definitely work on answering questions more clearly. I can try to ask more questions back, be more engaging. In the sense, I'm adapting myself for what engages more people, but I think that's exactly, what it is. It's very authentic to me because I want to get better. If it decreased, yeah, okay. Could be that, I made it sharper. Like I can definitely work on making that better and improving the lighting in here. I have to do that again. Yeah, anything else? Anything else? I'm genuinely, grateful for any feedback. If it's positive, if it's negative, I can make the positives better. I can make the negatives less negative or prominent. I can try to upgrade the camera quality for sure, or I can try. I can always try. I might do something where I'm going outside for a bit. Walking live could be tough, right? You and me together. You and me together. Going outside. Game. God, I game so little, dude. I game so little, but I really could, right? On a live. It just has so little to do what I do. I used to game so much. I used to play a bunch of video games. But I stopped doing that. I stopped so hard. And so now, you know, I talk about this stuff. But walking live could be tough, right? Taking a walk together outside. Maybe it's a bit more engaging than me just like sitting here. I talked about that yesterday. You already know. I don't even have to tell you. You already know. And so yeah, and that's actually interesting that you know that, because that means, right? I mean, we talked about it, so that's like some marketing knowledge you have now. It's pretty cool. Hey, walking live could be tough. I'm going to take that to account. Might do a walking one next time then. But I'd also have to do it, you know, during daytime, because I don't think you want to be walking with me at night. Very well. I appreciated everyone for coming on. I appreciate everyone for being here with me. I'm so glad I got to share some of this knowledge. I'm so glad I have someone in the chat who's so interested, or I guess someone in the chat who's so interested in marketing. I'm super happy we get to have like a discourse there, and it's such great inspiration too, you know, for content stuff that I can talk about. Really sick. Super grateful, dude. I'm super grateful. Friends. I'm so grateful. Like genuinely, I'm so happy. You know, I can be here for an hour and 10, 15 minutes, and we're just like connecting and talking, and we're talking about stuff we're passionate about, and we just get to connect like this. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm super happy about this. I hope you all have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, a beautiful evening. I hope you get your stuff done, and I hope we keep making shit happen. I hope we make stuff happen and we work hard, as we often have, and we often will again. Goodbye, everyone. Mitsu, thank you a lot for being here. It was very nice. It was very, very, very nice. Bye. All right. Goodbye. Goodbye, YouTube.